When you're shopping for a compact SUV, it's easy to get overwhelmed. There are plenty of options out there, each promising comfort, style, and reliability. But one model that has quickly risen in popularity since its debut is the Mazda CX-30. Positioned between the smaller CX-3 and the larger CX-5, the CX-30 has managed to hit a sweet spot for drivers who want something practical yet stylish, compact yet roomy enough for daily life. If you're considering buying a used Mazda CX-30, you're probably asking yourself if it's a smart choice. Let's take a closer look at what makes this crossover stand out, what you should keep in mind before purchasing, and whether it's worth your money in the used market. The Mazda CX-30 first hit the market in 2020, so compared to some rivals, it's still a relatively new entry in Mazda's lineup. This is important because a used CX-30 isn't going to be that old, and most of the ones on the market today still have modern styling, updated technology, and plenty of life left in them. Unlike buying a used car that's over a decade old, a used CX-30 often feels like a near-new purchase, just at a lower price. That's already one advantage, since you get a modern vehicle without paying brand-new prices. One of the first things people notice about the CX-30 is its design. Mazda has a reputation for making cars that look more premium than their price tag would suggest, and the CX-30 is no exception. Its sleek curves, bold front grille, and upscale interior almost make you feel like you're driving something from a luxury brand. Compared to rivals like the Honda HR-V or Toyota Corolla Cross, the CX-30 tends to feel more refined and stylish. If you care about looks and want a car that doesn't blend into the background, this SUV delivers. Buying used doesn't take away from that, since the design hasn't changed drastically over the past few years, which means even a 2020 model still looks current today. Performance is another area where the CX-30 shines. Mazda has always put driving enjoyment at the center of its cars, and the CX-30 carries that tradition forward. Even in its base engine form, the 2.5-liter four-cylinder provides plenty of power for city driving and highway cruising. What makes it different from many rivals is the way it feels on the road. The steering is sharp, the suspension is well-balanced, and the overall experience is much closer to driving a sporty hatchback than a bland compact SUV. For those who want a little extra kick, some used CX-30s come with a turbocharged engine that makes the drive even more exciting. This is not something you typically find in competitors at this price point, so on the used market, it's an attractive feature. When it comes to comfort and interior quality, the Mazda CX-30 really sets itself apart. Step inside, and you'll notice the attention to detail in the materials and layout. Soft touch surfaces, clean design, and an intuitive infotainment system make the cabin feel far more upscale than you might expect. Even though it's technically a small SUV, it feels surprisingly roomy for front passengers, with supportive seats that make long drives enjoyable. The back seats aren't the largest in the class, and the cargo space is decent but not class-leading. So if you're someone who frequently carries a lot of gear or has tall passengers in the rear, this is something to think about. Still, for most people using it as a daily commuter or small family vehicle, the space is more than enough. On the technology front, a used CX-30 offers features that keep it competitive even against newer models. Many versions come with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, along with a crisp infotainment screen controlled by a dial on the center console. While some drivers prefer touchscreens, Mazda's system is designed to reduce distractions while driving. Safety is also a strong point, with most trims offering advanced driver assist features like adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, and blind spot monitoring. Considering you're buying used, it's reassuring to know that even the older CX-30s have plenty of safety tech built in. Reliability is one of the biggest questions people ask when shopping for a used car, and Mazda generally has a solid reputation here. The CX-30 hasn't been on the road for decades like the Toyota RAV4 or Honda CR-V, but so far, it has shown itself to be dependable with no widespread issues. Maintenance and repair costs tend to be reasonable compared to European brands, and since it shares a lot of parts with other Mazda models, servicing isn't a major hassle. A well-maintained used CX-30 should easily last well beyond 100,000 miles, making it a smart long-term investment. Of course, no car is perfect, and the CX-30 does have a few drawbacks to consider. The most obvious one is rear seat and cargo space, which, as mentioned, isn't as generous as in some competitors. If you regularly need maximum practicality, a Honda HR-V or Subaru Crosstrek might be better options. Another thing to note is that while Mazda interiors feel upscale, they don't always come with the largest touchscreens or flashiest tech. So if you're someone who values cutting-edge gadgets, you might feel the CX-30 is a little more conservative in that department. Additionally, some drivers have noted that the ride can be a bit firmer than rivals, which makes it more fun to drive, but slightly less cushioned on rough roads. The price of a used Mazda CX-30 is one of its strongest selling points. Since it's still a relatively new model, prices haven't dropped to rock-bottom levels, but you can still find good deals. Depending on the year, mileage, and trim, a used CX-30 often ranges between $18,000 and $28,000. Considering that a new one can easily push past $30,000 with options, the savings are significant. And because the car hasn't been around for that long, many used examples are still within their factory warranty, giving you extra peace of mind. So, should you buy a used Mazda CX-30? If you're looking for a small SUV that balances style, driving enjoyment, and premium feel without straying into luxury brand pricing, the CX-30 is a fantastic option. It offers a driving experience that few in its class can match, looks that make it stand out, and enough modern features to keep it competitive for years to come. Its reliability record is shaping up to be strong, and maintenance won't drain your wallet. The main reasons you might hesitate are if you need maximum interior space or prefer a softer ride. But if those aren't deal breakers, the CX-30 shines as one of the smartest used buys in the compact SUV market. In the end, buying a used Mazda CX-30 is about finding that balance between affordability and quality. It's a car that feels like more than the sum of its parts, delivering a premium vibe without the premium price tag. For anyone shopping in this segment, it deserves to be high on the list. If you found the video useful, be sure to hit the like button to support us. Thank you.